Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to Miraculous. Episodes 15 and 16, I believe this is. Yeah. So, this is a two-parter. And I have already found out what this is about. At least to a degree. I don't know all the details and everything. I did see while opening it up today, basically, that one of the title, at least one of the titles, says Origins on it. That's all I saw, mind you, but that does reveal a lot. And at least I didn't see it well before now. Origins, that definitely makes me believe that this is going to reveal how Marinette and possibly Adrian got their Miraculouses. This is something that I've wanted for quite a long time now. Really ever since I first started this series. Because I noted when I first started this that that was one thing that this show didn't go into. That when the show started, it was already just in it. They were already heroes and everything. And this is where I disagree with a lot of people on things. Not just in terms of Miraculous, but in terms of superhero-based shows in general. A lot of people are sick of the origin story. A lot of people are just want us to kind of move past that and not focus on that. But I very much disagree. I think that we still do need to focus on the origin story. In fact, I don't think there will ever be a time where we don't. And the reason for that is simple. The origin story is important, really integral to understanding a character, a hero, or even a villain in some cases. By taking out an origin story altogether, that you take out who a character is, because their entire character is built upon in that origin story. Now, obviously, you can have characters like Batman, where it's like, okay, everyone knows his origin story at this point. His parents were murdered in Crime Alley when he was a kid after they left the theater. They were seeing Zorro. He decided that he was not going to just stand by and let the rampant crime in Gotham City stand, so he trains for years and years and ends up taking the guise of Batman in order to cleanse the city. It's a tried and true origin story that everyone knows. So it's like when people are saying like, oh, we want to cut out this origin story stuff, this is one of the ones they're talking the most about. And I can see why, because all of these different movies we've had, live action or otherwise, a lot of them have covered his origin story over and over again. Same with Superman, really. You get to see their origin story over and over, and a lot of people are like, we know this stuff already. Let's move on. Let's get to other stuff. And most of the animated movies, most of them don't cover the origin story. Most of it, it's like, okay, he's already Batman. Let's see what Batman's doing today, basically. And that's all well and good, but this only works when everyone does know the origin story. We still do need origin stories, excuse me, for those heroes that aren't as well known and who aren't as much household names as Batman and Superman. It's like everyone may know their origin stories, but that doesn't mean we should just move past the origin story altogether. And like I said, this is something that I felt we needed since the beginning. And I'm glad we're finally getting to it. I think it should have happened before now, and I think hell that we should have just started with it. I don't know why so many like shows or movies or whatnot are so insistent on like trying to put the origin story later on instead of just having it right from the beginning. It's just like just start with it. Come on. But yeah, either way, we are getting to it. Um, I have no idea what to expect with this because I don't think we've even had a lot of hints as to how all of this started. I think they've been kind of avoiding that. Um, but I wonder how far this is going to go. Like, if we find out, like, obviously, the origins of how they got their miraculouses and all, like, is it going to connect to other characters? Like, I mean, Adrian's dad is a big one. Will connect to um, that one guy. I don't remember his name. He was in the last episode, though. The episode with the akumatized perfume princess, or her name was something like that. Um, but yeah, not to be confused with Perfuma from Shira. But yeah, in the last episode, it's like, um, which was a couple weeks ago, mind you. Sorry it's taken so long to get to this. It's just 2 episodes, like, especially knowing it. I did know before that it was a two-parter, even if I didn't know why or what it was about, but still. Um, yeah, it's just, I was kind of not really intimidated, but just worried about what this was going to be. So I just kind of put it off and got to other things. um, but yeah, there was that one guy in the last episode, the guy who helped heal Marinette's Miraculous, or not Miraculous. Miraculous is the object. The ladybug. I can't remember her name. I'm sorry. But the Chinese guy who helped heal her, and it's like it definitely hinted that he was important. So I wonder if he's going to have a role in any of this. But the thing is, Marinette didn't know him. She didn't recognize him. So it's like I I'm not sure. But he's definitely coming back, so I'm kind of wondering. We know that he's going to be coming. We know he's a big deal. That was made very clear in the last episode. They made sure we as viewers knew that he would be a big deal going forward. Just not telling us how yet, of course. Um, but yeah, with the fact that he knows about, he seems to know about everything. It's like there's a good chance he's going to be massively important to the ongoing story. Um, Now, I have heard, um, I think I might have said this last time, but I'm not sure. But I have heard that this does have more of a major, like, ongoing narrative further down the line. That it does get better with that. And while it still has a lot of that episodic, akumatized victim of the week stuff going forward, it does get more focused, and there is more of an actual core story that starts to come into play. That is something I'm definitely looking forward to. I don't think we're gonna start with anything in these episodes if it's an origin story. We might get the kind of roots for that though. We might get things set up so that further down the line will that stuff will like be capitalized on. That's all I can really see coming from that. But this is going to be interesting, seeing how this all started. How did they get their miraculouses, and why them? Like, there's got to be some kind of reason. Um, and was Hawkmoth involved in it? Adrian's father, was he involved in it right from the start? Was he Hawkmoth when they first got their Miraculouses? That's a big question. Um, I guess we'll have to see and find out. Yeah, so hopefully, hopefully, these two episodes are pretty good. This definitely may not be my favorite show I'm reacting to right now, but it definitely has improved. Funny enough, from the point forward where I continued from. Um, it seems to always be like that when I drop a show and then start it up again. It's like, oh, it starts to get really good again. Let's just hope it doesn't have another downfall, for lack of a better way to put it, or yeah, at least one that I can think of at the moment. Hopefully, it doesn't fall from grace again, because this is getting really good. I mean, really good. There's definitely there's definitely some better things that have been introduced, some more fun ideas, even just for the akumatized victims. And with the now hint of the more ongoing narrative popping out. Excuse me. That's definitely tickled my interest. um, but yeah, we're gonna get this started and basically stop putting it off. So, when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episodes. So that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. Okay, and we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. This was fantastic. Like, this two-parter, this origin story, was actually fantastic. This is what I want from this show. Not just the story-based stuff, not just the origin story, you know, the stuff that's directly connected to an ongoing plot that gives us a lot of intrigue and depth into these characters. Yes, all of that's fantastic, and I definitely want all of that. But what I mean by that, this is what I want, is that with the 14 episodes prior to this, you know, it's pretty much just completely episodic. We have our akumatized victim of the week trying to serve Hawkmoth and take the Miraculouses while just causing trouble around Paris. And it felt very basic for the most part. That's one of the reasons why I dropped it the first time. Because I felt that it was just too generic, too uninteresting. With these episodes, even just ignoring the ongoing narrative aspect of it, ignoring the origin story aspect of it, it gave us something that felt more refreshing and unique. It took the idea of a simple origin story and made it feel like something new, which is hard to do, because even in a lot of these superhero magical girl shows where you see their origin and everything, it's like you still like feel like, oh yeah, this is a superhero origin story and stuff, and you to a point felt that here. But this felt different because of certain aspects that were brought together in this one. The characters themselves and how everything went, how everything kind of came together, and the fact that the origin kind of just was not only just thrust upon them, but there's no like tragic background or anything. Like I talked about Batman in the pre-thoughts, right? Well, Batman's origin, as I mentioned, his parents are killed in Crime Alley. Superman's origin, he's stranded on for him an alien planet, um, and has to learn to kind of use his powers and utilize them in a meaningful way and stuff. And it's like you have all these different kinds of origin stories, and a lot of them either have some kind of tragedy or some kind of big event backing them up. In this one, Marinette and Adrian are just kind of given their miraculouses because this guy sees something in them. He sees something in them, so he gives them their miraculouses, trusting them to him, trusting the miraculouses to them. I don't know, something about the way I worded that at first was weird. And their the first battle we see them with isn't like some big villain or anything, although Hawkmoth does have a big appearance in it, which I really did not expect that to happen. It was one of those akumatized victims of the week thing. And it's like there was definitely the difference with the fact that he was akumatized twice, and that and we find out that that was only possible because of the fact that Marinette didn't cleanse the butterfly at first, which is interesting. So that's pretty interesting. And who knows how that could end up evolving if she ever forgets or just doesn't do it again. Like they could do probably numerous different things with that idea. But there is one big thing I want to talk about, and that's the box. So in the first part, episode 15, we see this, well, actually, I think we see it in episode 16 as well, but there's this mysterious box that seems to hold the Miraculouses, and the old guy has it. I think there's only one scene, though, where you actually get to see inside the box, and so I have it up here. I'm not going to show it on screen here just because I actually, for some reason, have had issue with that before. Like, I think it might have been with Shin Godzilla or something like that, but it's like, I showed screen caps in the video, just the screen caps, and I got copyright attacked for it, and it's like, really? I'm not even showing video, I'm just showing, like, screen caps. So I'm not going to risk it, but you can go check it on Netflix. It's at somewhere around the 11:20 mark. But yeah, it shows the open box, and it looks like there's 7 Miraculouses in total. The center has the Ladybug and Cat Miraculouses, creation and destruction, as we find out in this two-parter, kind of set up in a yin-yang pattern. And the others are all surrounding. One of them is the Moth Miraculous. That's very clear. It's there's a purple color to it. And then there's a blue one, which looks almost like some kind of princess tiara. The green one has like this kind of mystical looking symbol. And then there's 2 other ones, and we actually see the objects for those. Meaning, the fact that those 2 still have their objects means that outside of Ladybug and Cat Noir and, of course, Hawkmoth, there's 2 other Miraculous users out there. Now, obviously, one of them is the old man, so meaning there's a Miraculous user out there we don't know about. So, because we have 4 of them we know about now. The old man himself has a Miraculous, Hawkmoth has one, Ladybug and Cat Noir have one. That's 4, but there's still one that the item is missing from. We see that in the box. 2 of the 2 others that do have items still, one of them looks like a necklace with kind of like a hook on it, like Maui's hook from Moana. It kind of looks like that, and the other one looks like some kind of comb. That's what I would have to say. Like not like the comb you brush your hair with, but the one you would like put in your hair, like you tie up your hair in a certain way and put the comb in to hold it, like that kind of comb. So I'm wondering who has the blue miraculous? Because clearly the old man's is the green one with the mystical symbol and everything. Who has the blue miraculous? That's a big question. I wonder if we're going to find that out soon, like by the end of season 1 here. That's really fascinating. And yeah, that is definitely one of the biggest pluses of these episodes, of this origin story. It builds upon stuff we've already seen and gives us new information. And I think that's why it actually works, that they didn't show this at the very beginning. I was going into this, I was actually confused as to why not they wouldn't just have the origin right from the start, and instead would just kind of go into things. But now, with the way they did this, it actually makes sense. They wanted you to get to know the characters first, so that when these episodes came in, there would be that reveal. There would be that more info given, but not everything yet. So we see that we see pretty much how everything has come together to where it is currently. We see how everyone met, how Marinette's met Adrian, Alia. She's been in the same class with Chloe for 4 years now, so they've already known each other. And Chloe and Adrian have known each other since they were young, both kind of growing up rich. We see that initially Adrian wasn't supposed to go to the school, that his father actually outright wanted him to stay home. And there was some interesting stuff to that too. It seemed like he was very against Adrian going in the outside world at all. And he seemed very against the idea of Adrian just being out of the mansion. So it's like, what's the deal with that? The only thing I can think of is that he's afraid. That he's afraid something's going to happen to Adrian if he goes out there. Which means one of two things in my eyes. Either he has some kind of irrational fear of, well, the outside, which seems almost unlikely because Adrian is like a model and everything or whatnot. And it's like, he's got to go outside and go places to be able to do stuff like that. And so it seems unlikely it's that. The only other option I can think of would be that there's something in Gabriel Hawkmoth's past that makes him afraid of Adrian just going out there, at least unsupervised. Because he does relent and let Adrian eventually go to the school. And obviously he lets him go out to do his modeling stuff and whatnot. But yeah, it's just, there's got to be something that happened. And that in itself brings up two ideas. Either something happened to Gabriel himself, and that kind of ties into his dream. That is what is causing him to want this ultimate power as Hawkmoth. Or, there's one thing I've noticed. We have never seen Adrian's mom. Could Adrian's mom have died? Could Adrian's mom have died in some way? Who knows how? But and Gabriel was so destroyed by that he wants this ultimate power to somehow bring her back to life, or even go into the past somehow, if that's even possible, and stop her death from even happening. because that would be really tragic, honestly, um, and give him a lot more of a sympathetic side, to be fair. But on top of that, it would explain a lot. Because again, we've never seen Adrian's mom. We've seen his father, plenty. And we've seen a couple of the other staff members, but that's about it. So it's like, huh, makes you wonder. That's probably, I think, the strongest possibility. Something happened to Adrian's mother that caused his father to desire that ultimate power, and his big dream is to get her back somehow. Just based on the context clues we have. I could be completely wrong, and I probably am. I mean, heck, for all I know, his mother might be the one with the other Miraculous, and she might just be out there somewhere. Might have like left them or something. That's also a possibility, I guess. Because we don't know who else has who has that other Miraculous. We have no clue. So it's like that's a possibility. So yeah. Either way, not too much to talk about regarding the akumatized victim of the week thing. Just this big, sensitive guy has some trouble with his emotions, gets akumatized because he's getting made fun of for liking the one girl whose name I can never remember. But we've seen her here and there. He likes her, he's getting made fun of for liking her, so he becomes akumatized, and by the end, they seemingly get together. Have they been together in previous episodes? Like, has that been a thing and I just haven't noticed? I mean, either way, it's cute. Even if he's super awkward and really not great at expressing himself. Same. It's super cute. I like it. But there's not really much to talk about with that because that was, let's be honest, a minor aspect of things. This origin was an origin. We see that from Marinette's angle, she at first is scared of this. She's not sure about it, and it kind of takes her off guard. Even during her first transformation sequence, she has no idea what's going on and is freaking out a little. Meanwhile, on the other hand, Adrian, he's all for it right away. And I think it's because of the way they're raised and able to, like, just interact with others. Adrian's all for this because he's been so secluded and been so just hidden away from the world that this excitement gets to him. It's something new for him. It's something special. It's something exciting. Something that just goes against everything he's been forced to live with. Meanwhile, Marinette, she has loving, caring parents. She's very free and open and just able to go pretty much anywhere and all. So this kind of thing, it's like not inherently appealing to her like it is for Adrian. She sees it from like a normal perspective in a way. She sees it as like, oh, what the hell is this? And we see that because of this, she has a little bit of a harder time getting used to her abilities and her powers. Adrian's more accepting of it, and so he kind of gets a grasp on it a little easier. And at the same time, because of her, like, just instant trepidations about this all, she is more prone to giving it up early on. We see that she actually gives it up for a little bit, that she can't handle it. She doesn't feel worthy of it. She doesn't feel like she's good enough. While Adrian never really falters in that way. And we get to see these differences between them. But we also see how these differences bring them together, not only as partners in heroism, But we see how they start to connect these two. Because Adrian finds someone who represents that freedom that he's always wanted. And Marinette finds someone who represents the more structured side that she honestly kind of needs. She's very free-spirited, and there's nothing wrong with that by any means. But you do need a little bit of structure. They kind of complete each other in the same way that creation and destruction do, in the same way that the yin and yang of the Miraculous box, shown through their Miraculouses, do. They are each other's opposites, and because of that, they're each other's equals. They need each other. I mean, at the end of episode 16, even the old guys basically like, yeah, they're made for each other. They were meant to have these. Now, speaking of the old guy, it's very clear he's the keeper or guardian or whatever of these Miraculouses, and he straight up says that there's been only one time where he's made the wrong call in giving them out. And I assume that has to be Hawkmoth. That it has to be. While we don't know anything about the other Miraculous user, Hawkmoth clearly is not using the Miraculous in a good way. I would love to see the instance when the old guy gave Gabriel his Miraculous, though. Like, why did he give it to him, and how did all of that come to be? I really want to see that. That's gotta be really fascinating. I'm just really, really curious about a lot of this. There's just so many possibilities that this all really kickstarts. This has, it's in a way humanized Hawkmoth, made him definitely seem like more of a full-fledged character. But it did still keep his cartoonish villainy as well. Also, when he used the Akumas to create his face and relay the message and everything, that was cool. I did not know he could do that. But yeah, it humanized him a little more and showed that there is a reason behind what he's doing. It gave some more depth to both Marinette and Adrian, and showed them in a newer light that we really haven't seen them in before. It just world built massively, especially in regards to the Miraculouses. We even got to see two Kwamis we have never seen before. Up till now, we've only seen Tiki and Plague, but now we get to see the Moth Kwami for Hawkmoth, and as well as the Old Man's Kwami. So it's like, we are definitely building on things. And I'm really into it. But yeah, I just have no clue where this is going to go from here on out. I mean, granted, I still fully believe that most of this going forward will still be the akumatized victim of the week. But we're starting to kick something off with this. And I don't know exactly how it's going to go, but I do believe that we're going to start getting more into an ongoing narrative. Stuff is going to keep popping up, I feel. Stuff is going to keep getting revealed little bits at a time, and we'll have these occasional episodes that will build into something more. And I feel it might almost be like Gravity Falls in that way, because Gravity Falls' first season was very episodic, but it started to lay the ideas and everything there, and then it introduced Bill and everything and started to set the groundwork for the ongoing major narrative. And then season 2, it started off more episodic. Well, actually, it started yeah, it started off more episodic, then in the middle of the season got very, very heavily story oriented to the point where but even during the more episodic stuff at the beginning of season 2, it was still laying the groundwork, and everything kind of came together in the middle of the season. And it's like, that's when shit started going down. And I feel like Miraculous could possibly be going to that same route. We're still going to get some episode of the week kind of situations, but we're going to start laying more groundwork now. I don't know for sure, and I don't know exactly how often it's going to be, but I'm hoping that they don't take too long before the next bit of big information drops. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. Like, this was, like I said, fantastic. Not just even from an entertainment standpoint, just it was fantastic from a world building and character and story standpoint. This is what an origin story should be. This is definitely how to work it. So I enjoyed it. I very, very much enjoyed it. But tell me your thoughts down in the comments below. What did you think of these 2 episodes of Miraculous? Uh, Let me know, and thank you so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.